I do want to talk some sports betting, though. Let's take a look at some sports betting. I'm looking at looking at the DK Sportsbook betting market. Just scrolling around here. Now, you guys know me. I'm the author of DB's Big Balls betting card, right? I like betting on larger numbers. I like chasing the larger number. It's more exciting to me. You know, I'm well past gateway drugs on betting. Like I need blow. I need hard blow. So I tend not to go too low. But if I were going to go a little bit shorter, I do think Harris English at 35-1 is is a decent place to start looking. Yeah, I'm not going to give you a bunch of tips before that. I already mentioned EVR, Eric Van Rooyen at 45-1. Yeah, looking at him, Ryan Moore at 55-1 potentially. Charlie Hoffman 70-1. He kind of makes me stop scrolling for a second. Let's see, Gooch at 90-1. Straka right there at 80-1. These are guys I've already talked about in terms of what I like about. I mean, you got English, who's just in great form right now, playing with a lot of confidence in a weak field, decent number. EVR, bomber, scorer, can pop, can win. He's got the chops, you know what I mean? Ryan Moore, PGA Tour winner, iron plays, finally coming around after the last 2 weeks. Hoffman, PGA Tour winner, just kind of lost over the last year or two, but on a golf course where there's a lot of width and he's not blowing it out of bounds, I tend to like that a little better. Straka and Gooch, both ball striking really well right now. Both can take advantage of the par fives. I like that. I like Keith Mitchell at 110-1. Keith Mitchell, PGA Tour winner, won at Honda at the PGA National. Like I said, kind of a resort kind of golf course in Florida with a lot of water, a lot of sand. You can take advantage of the par fives. That's kind of what this is. Keith Mitchell at 110-1, coming off a T22 last week, is interesting. Now, if you want to go super bombs, okay? I mentioned Seamus Power is at 300-1. That is a bomb, okay? Put you a little quarter unit. Drop a quarter uni on Seamus Power at 300-1, maybe a third of a uni. The guy has plenty of top tens on the PGA Tour, okay? Lots of miscuts, but plenty of top tens on the PGA Tour. He hits it a long way, a lot like Matt Wolff did last year. In a scoring fest, I like the potential of a guy like him. Also, well, I guess I'll get into no. Let's get into some top tens. There's some top 10 bets. I'm kind of the same way. Like, give me, especially in a field like this where anybody can finish top 10. You know what I mean? Like, Grayson Murray could finish top 10. He's not even playing. That's how easy this field is. I like Seamus Power, who I just mentioned, is 25-1 as a top 10 bet. Nick Watney, PGA Tour veteran, very high floor for Nick Watney. Not a lot of upside, but high floor for Nick Watney. 28-1 for a top 10. Hank Lebioda, 33-1 at a top 10. Now, Hank has not been playing well lately, but I do know that Hank has recently, I believe, changed his short game coach or putting coach, looking for some help there. So maybe that pops one of these weeks because he's a pretty good ball striker, hits it a long way. Great head of hair on Hank. 33-1 for a top 10. Also, Chris Baker at 20-1. So there's some top 10 numbers that I think are interesting. I'm not going to bet. I just, like I said, guys, I don't bet 12-1 numbers or 15-1 numbers. Like, if I got to sweat Brian Harmon at 15-1, like, put a bullet in my head. I don't even care. So give me 20-1 or give me death on a top 10 bet. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the bets I'm looking at for this week. But obviously, as I mentioned, scoring, it's going to be a scoring fest. Anybody could pop. What we've seen since the restart is a lot of short odds, a lot of favorites win, a lot of numbers below that 40-1, except for Berger when he won at 70-1, which yours truly wrote up in the Chalk Bomb email, and a bunch of you won and tailed. But except for Berger, like we've had, DJ won, Rom won, like we've had plenty of Webb won. We've had a bunch of shorter numbers win. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case this week. Like I don't think it's not near as likely with as weak a field as we have. I mean, you've got obviously got DJ and Brooks up top, but and Finau. I think Finau has the best chance of winning out of those three, given the form, given the health concerns with Brooks, the consistency between Brooks and DJ in terms of their iron play. Fleetwood at 17-1. I mean, sure, like in a normal week, but what do we know of Fleetwood's play lately? Like, do we know he's played lately? Do we know he's rusty? Is he shaking the rust off here? Which I think he could be. You got Casey at 18-1. Okay. I guess I wouldn't hate that. And then it's just, it kind of gets steep and you drop off into 25 and 28 and 35-1. And those guys are just like, okay. Russell Henley at 35-1. Okay. I just start looking at this and going, all right, how is Russell Henley seriously at 35-1? Are his odds to win that much better than Ryan Moore or Doc Redman at 55-1? Like Doc Redman's playing very well, other than one missed cut last week. Tee to green guy. Now he's not a PGA Tour winner. He's a rookie. I get it, but he's playing really well. He scores on par fives. Like, is it really the 20 points difference? Ryan Moore, same thing. Like proven PGA Tour winner, veteran, wily veteran, right? Is it really that big of a difference? So like, why do I want to bet Russell Henley at 35-1 when I can get, I could maybe get two guys at 55-1 or 60-1 or, Johnny Vegas or Charlie Hoffman at 70-1. Why would I do that? So I definitely don't like middling in that 20 to 40 range. EVR at 45, Harris English at 35, I feel the best about. But other than that, it'd be like, all right, well, I guess I'd tell you to go Casey at 18-1 or Finau at 14-1 if you just had to have a shorter number. Looking at some matchups that I thought were kind of interesting. Finau is a heavy favorite over Tommy Fleetwood at -130. Let's see what it is. Let me make sure I got the same number. Yeah, Finau is actually the number has changed. Finau was -137 to Tommy +110. Currently, Finau is -125. Tommy Fleetwood's +100. Finau favorite over Fleetwood pretty significantly, which I think makes sense, which is, one reason why in DFS, like I'll play Finau chalky or not. But I think that matchup is somewhat telling. I looked at, let's see, there's another matchup that I thought was kind of interesting. All right. Troy Merritt is -125 and Scott Stallings is +105. Merritt is a pretty heavy favorite. He's $100 cheaper on DraftKings. Now, I talked about both of these guys briefly in the DraftKings section, and I said I like Stallings better, and I actually think Stallings' floor is higher on this course than Troy Merritt. But Troy Merritt's been playing okay. I think in the matchups, I would definitely, and DFS, I think I prefer to have Stallings. But that is an interesting number to see Troy Merritt such a heavy favorite and only $100 less. This is an interesting one too. Luke List and Doc Redman. Luke is a -120 favorite over Redman at +100, and Redman is $300 more expensive in terms of DFS. This is another one where I kind of have a dilemma because honestly, when I looked at the names just before looking at any prices, anything, I liked Redman more than List in terms of I like both of them actually, but I like Redman's potential to just make the cut. List is either going to win it, top 10, or miss cut. There's not going to be a lot in between. But it's interesting that you get a $300 savings with List, but yet he's a pretty decent favorite over Redman in the matchups. Also, as I scroll down the bottom, another couple interesting lines I saw. Oh, no, this has changed. No, it hasn't. Okay. -110 to -110. Wyndham Clark, Aaron Wise. So basically, even money here for both those players, but Clark is $200 more expensive on DK in terms of DFS. I mentioned I like Wise a little bit more than Wyndham Clark in terms of DFS as well. So I think the line this matchup would maybe confirm that decision that I think Wise, if you like Clark, why not save $200 and play Aaron Wise? And then Gooch and Wawrinski, that line. Let's see. That line's the same. Gooch, slight favorite over Warinsky, but Warinsky is $300 more expensive in DFS, which I find interesting. So I don't think I think I had some good value with Gooch there, and I also mentioned in that segment that I like him. So just a few matchups that kind of signal or point to some of the DFS prices that I was looking at there.